Good afternoon, everybody. Uneducated economist here. So I've been thinking about these Chinese bond defaults that are taking place. In 2019, there was 150 of them. In 2018, it was 120. So, and from what I understand, in 2020, there's going to be even more. So the amount of bond defaults that are taking place over in China is starting to grow. Now, it is still pretty insignificant when you consider they're the second largest bond market in the world. It's only like $19 billion worth that had been defaulted on in 2019. So, when you're talking, probably hundreds of trillions of dollars in the entire bond market out there in the world, $19 billion worth is pretty small. But what I thought was interesting is that the government could have stepped in and bailed these companies out, but they chose to let the market run their course. Which I find interesting is that if this continues, what will happen? Because China has kind of set themselves up in case of a failure. They have built roads, they've built an infrastructure out there for shipping channels, they have loaded up on gold, they have a cryptocurrency that's ready to go. They are building partnerships with people like Russia so they can get their base components like wood to keep their infrastructure, continually moving, because wood is like a base component for construction. So they're setting themselves up for this switch, the change. On the other hand, you got the United States over there who's fighting to keep this banking system in check. And you can see it even just recently where they are telling Iraq that, if you make us pull all the troops out of Iraq, we're going to cut you off from the Federal Reserve account, which means that you can't do business with other people in a world trade. Meaning that they might go over to China, who's setting up cryptocurrency and gold transactions. So I find this pretty interesting. This bond market is huge. We're in a bond bubble right now. Bonds are, I'm not saying that they can't keep going up for, who knows how long. But what I'm saying is that they have never been this high. They are astronomically up there, and there's defaults that are starting to take place all over the place. And when you see this start to catch on, and when it starts to catch fire, and all of a sudden the sentiment out there turns people, the investors, from like going, "Oh, this was a hot market," to "I don't want to be in this anymore," you're going to see the interest rates rise crazy like. And the government here in the United States will be crushed under the weight of its own debt if the interest rates begin to rise. So going back over to China, you think about this, they have gold, they had the infrastructure around the world for shipping channels built, or building. They're building the partnerships with people like Russia, again, and others. Are they getting ready to crash the bond market, which would essentially crash the dollar? I don't know. It seems like a perfect setup to me. Uneducated economist. You guys let me know.